For 29 years, he believed World War II was still happening. While the world rebuilt, while men walked on the moon, while his family grew old without him, he stayed in the jungle, armed, waiting for orders that would never come. You load your rifle. You check your perimeter. You listen for movement. You stay hidden. You stay ready. You stay loyal. Now imagine doing that, not for a week, not for a month, not even for a year. Imagine doing that for 10 years. The world is changing. Cities are rebuilding. Children are growing up. But you are still here, still in the jungle, still fighting a war. Now make it 20 years. The world has moved on. Technology has advanced. Men have walked on the moon. Colored television exists. Entire generations have grown up. And you are still here, still holding your rifle, still waiting for orders. Now make it 29 years. This is not fiction. This is not a movie. This is the true story of Hiroo Onoda, a Japanese soldier who continued fighting World War II until 1974, a war that officially ended in 1945. He was not insane. He was not lost. He was not confused. He was loyal. And that loyalty would cost him nearly 3 decades of his life. To understand why Hiroo Onoda stayed in that jungle, you have to understand who he was before the jungle. He was born on March 19, 1922, in Wakayama, Japan. He was the son of a school principal. He grew up in a quiet rural village surrounded by mountains and tradition. But Japan was changing. The nation was rising, expanding, becoming more militarized. By the time Onoda was a teenager, war was already shaping the country. In 1942, at 20 years old, he was conscripted into the Imperial Japanese Army. But he was not just trained as a regular infantryman. In 1944, he was selected for elite intelligence training at the Nakano School. This was not ordinary military education. He was trained in guerrilla warfare, in sabotage, in survival, in psychological resistance, and above all, he was taught one rule: never surrender, never give up, never believe the enemy. His commanding officer, Major Yoshimi Taniguchi, gave him final instructions before sending him to Lubang Island in the Philippines. Those instructions were clear. No matter what happens, you are not to surrender. It may take years, but we will come back for you. Until then, you continue the mission. Onoda accepted those words as absolute truth, and he carried them with him into the jungle. On August 15, 1945, the war ended. Japan surrendered. Across the world, people flooded into the streets. Strangers embraced. Crowds celebrated. Families wept with relief. The deadliest war in human history was finally over. But on Lubang Island, the jungle remained silent. Hiroo Onoda did not hear celebration. He did not hear surrender. He did not hear the emperor's voice. He continued his patrols. He continued his mission. Then the leaflets began to fall. Paper printed in Japanese. The war is over. Come out. Surrender. Onoda read them carefully. He studied the wording. He examined the details. And then he rejected them. Because he had been trained for this. He had been warned that the enemy would use deception, fake documents, false surrender notices, psychological warfare. So when he saw the words, "The war is over," he believed the opposite. He believed the war was still raging. He believed the mission continued. And so he stayed. The days turned into months. The months turned into years. Onoda and the small group of soldiers with him adapted to the jungle. They lived on bananas, coconuts, stolen rice. They collected rainwater from leaves. They slept on the forest floor. They moved constantly to avoid detection. At night, they sat beside small fires, quiet, listening, waiting. Rainstorms came and went. Seasons changed, but the mission did not change. Time outside the jungle was moving forward. Inside the jungle, it felt frozen. The world was rebuilding, but Onoda was still fighting a war that no longer existed. At first, there were 4 of them. Then one left. Private Akatsu slipped away in the night and eventually surrendered. Onoda watched him disappear into the jungle. He did not follow. He did not question. He stayed loyal to the mission. Years later, during a confrontation with local forces, Corporal Shimada was killed. Onoda knelt beside him in the jungle. Another soldier gone. Another reminder of how long this war had lasted. Now there were fewer voices around the fire, fewer footsteps on patrol. But still, Onoda remained. He cleaned his rifle. He stitched his uniform. He guarded the mission as the years pressed deeper into his face. Only one companion remained, Private Kozuka. The 2 men survived together for years, until 1972. During another confrontation, Kozuka was shot and killed. Now, Hiroo Onoda was alone, completely alone. No comrades, no confirmation, no orders. Just jungle, just rifle, just duty. He maintained his weapon with obsessive care. He patched his uniform again and again. He rose each morning with the same belief. Somewhere the war is still happening, and he is still needed. By 1974, Japan had transformed. Cities were modern. Technology had advanced. The war was a memory in textbooks. But a young traveler named Norio Suzuki believed Hiroo Onoda might still be alive. He went to Lubang Island. He walked into the jungle alone. And one day, he found him. Onoda stepped out with rifle raised. Suzuki did not run. He raised his hands. He spoke calmly. "I am Japanese. I came here to find you." The 2 men talked for hours beside a small fire. Suzuki told him the war was over. Onoda listened, but he would not surrender, not without direct orders from his commanding officer. Norio Suzuki returned to Japan, and he did something extraordinary. He located Major Yoshimi Taniguchi, the officer who had given Hiroo Onoda his original orders in 1944. He was no longer a military commander. He was a bookseller, living a quiet civilian life. But when he learned that Onoda was still in the jungle, he agreed to go. He put on his old uniform. He traveled to Lubang Island. He walked back into the jungle. And there, after nearly 30 years, officer and soldier stood face to face. Taniguchi unfolded the official document. He read the order clearly. The original mission was terminated. All combat activity was to cease immediately. Hiroo Onoda was relieved of duty. For the first time in almost 30 decades, the war ended for him. Hiroo Onoda stood at attention, still wearing his uniform, still holding his rifle. He listened to the order again. Then, slowly, deliberately, he lowered his weapon. He removed his sword. He placed his rifle on the ground. 30 years of vigilance, 30 years of resistance, 30 years of loyalty, set down in a single motion. He stepped forward out of the jungle shadows, into the sunlight. Reporters gathered, cameras flashed. The world saw the man who refused to surrender. But if you look closely at his face, you do not see triumph. You see something else. You see the weight of lost time. He was 22 when he entered the jungle. He was 52 when he came out. 3 decades of youth gone. Japan welcomed him as a hero. Crowds applauded. Newspapers celebrated his loyalty. But Onoda felt displaced. The country had changed. The culture had changed. The world had changed. He sat alone in hotel rooms. He looked out at neon city lights. He attended press conferences. He answered questions calmly. But inside, he was adjusting to a reality that had moved forward without him. He had survived the jungle. Now he had to survive modern life. Eventually, Hiroo Onoda left Japan again. He moved to Brazil. He bought a cattle ranch. He worked the land. He built a quieter life. He married. He found stability. Years later, he returned to Lubang Island, not as a soldier, but as a man seeking reconciliation. He helped support the building of a school for local children. He later founded a nature school in Japan, teaching discipline, teaching survival, teaching purpose. The loyalty that once kept him in war was redirected toward the next generation. In his later years, Hiroo Onoda walked quietly through forests. No rifle, no mission, just memory. He once said that every person should find something they can be loyal to. That loyalty gives life meaning. For him, that loyalty lasted 30 years. It cost him his youth. It cost him time. But it defined him. The jungle that once imprisoned him became part of his legacy. Hiroo Onoda died in 2014, 91 years old. A man shaped by war, a man defined by duty, a man who kept his promise long after the world had forgotten it. And when he was finally told he could let go, he did.